Hey everybody, today I wanted to go over the trinket choices for your Disc Priest in Legion, for your raids, and for the Mythic Plus dungeons. I know in my guide I did mention that everybody should be using the proc damage trinkets just because of how they scale with your weapon and how they're balanced towards actual DPS classes, not the hybrid heal of the Disc Priest. So going into Legion, there was a hotfix towards Disc Priest that quote-unquote fixed the damage of some of the trinkets, and pretty much what they ended up doing, if I can get them to proc right now, so here you go, they pretty much just more than half the damage on most of the trinkets. So you can see the Spike Tongue trinket here is doing 58k and the Shock Baton is doing 96k. So what they essentially did is they more than halved the damage on a lot of the trinkets for the Disc Priest, except for this Shock Baton here. The Shock Baton for some reason is being changed around a lot. It used to do, like literally last week it was doing the full damage, this week it was doing 45k yesterday, and now it's doing 90k. So this makes me believe they're still hotfixing in the background what the trinkets are doing. You might see all the trinkets come up to this sort of like 75-80% threshold of the damage they're supposed to be doing, but right now, I would be recommending everybody, instead of running the proc damage trinkets, to be just switching over to the stat sticks. So the stat sticks are actually have very good stat weightings on them. They just all have passive int. You want to be trying to be going for the intellect haste ones like this one, or an intellect crit one is fine as well if you haven't got anything better. I would personally try and stay away from the proc trinkets just as a healer. RNG is not something you want to have as a healer. Your tank, needs to have healing when he takes damage. Like you can't be a DPS and you can't just wait until your trinkets prop and then you can deal your damage. It doesn't work like that for a healer. So I would recommend everyone to be taking just the stat sticks now for their Mythic Plus dungeons and their raids. They are very well weighted. And they're pretty easy to pick up just through the world quests. So now a quick thing onto the stats. So for your Mythic Plus dungeons, you want to make sure to drop as much mastery off your gear as you can. So mastery does not affect your Shadow Mend healing, and Shadow Mend healing will be the bulk of your healing in a Mythic Plus dungeon. That's on the tank at least. So mastery will not affect that. So effectively mastery will be a dead stat for when you actually need to be healing in the dungeons. So Shadow Mend will be your kind of reserve heal. That's when when the healing gets tough, that's when you start using the Shadow Mend. You start going into a sort of a Shadow Mend penance rotation, and then that's where your mastery really just does not affect you. So for your Mythic Plus dungeons, try and stay away from mastery as much as you can. Having a little bit's not going to be the end of the day, but try and stay away from it where possible. Mastery in raids is actually a fairly good stat for your overall throughput as a healer. If you want to be effective as a Disc Priest in whole, the value of mastery does drop off because it does not scale your damage. So you'll find haste will scale both your damage and your healing, whereas mastery only affects kind of half the class, so just the healing. As just a pure healing roll, mastery is good, but in general you want to be just trying to get as much haste as possible. I hope that clarified up about a few things about the current state of Disc Priest and their stats. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.